Hello and welcome back to Houselights, your one-stop shop for everything you need to hear about in the world of entertainment this week. I'm your host, Liz Nass, and I did almost forget the intro again. But we have such an exciting episode this week. I've literally been trying to get this together for how long? How many times have I said I want to do this like love and sex panel? So long.
So many.
So many times. Yeah. At least a dozen times. And so now today we are joined with every love and sex reporter ever for Valentine's Day. So introduce yourself, you guys. Hannah, you can start.
Okay, well, I'm Hannah Woehrle.
On many times.
Yes. And I was the love and sex reporter for fall semester 2022.
Nice. PJ?
PJ Pfeiffer. I was the love and sex reporter for spring 2023 semester.
And I'm Hannah Holycross, and I was the love and sex reporter for the fall 2023 semester.
So yeah, for Valentine's Day, I just wanted to get everyone together and just do a silly little episode on like some rom-coms, maybe some like sexy movies and like dating horror stories, which we have a couple of. So, but first I want to ask you guys, like, what like really did you guys like love the love and sex beat? Like, what were some of your favorite stories, stuff like that? You know, if you want to.
Oh, I loved it.
First.
I loved it. I thought it was so fun. I thought it was much more broad than I originally thought it was going to be, and so I thought that was really fun. Let's see, favorite stories that I wrote. My favorite story that I always go back to the Confidently Single story that I wrote.
Oh yeah,
love
that.
And I talked to like 3 different senior girls at the time, and they just kind of told gave advice on like what it's like to be single at MSU.
That was a good one.
Hookup culture. Yeah, I really liked that one.
And you even got to write your own little column about your own love and sex.
And I did write my own column about how I had never had my first kiss, which I have since.
Woo!
Been kissed, guys.
Yay!
Thank you. And that one was interesting. So I wrote some good stuff. I really liked that.
I loved. PJ, what was your favorite story?
Well, real quick, I want to piggyback off of Hannah, and like it was definitely, maybe I was naive going into this, but it was so much more broad than I thought. I thought I was literally going to be talking just about like love and sex. But
so true.
Right, so true. But no, I talked, I think one of my favorite pieces was I wrote about Roe v. Wade and people at MSU celebrating Roe v. Wade for the first time since it got overturned. And I interviewed women, just like 3 or 4 women, and they were just all very passionate about Roe v. Wade and the overturning. And so they were like, we're going to celebrate it by protesting, and like showing support and everything. So that was really cool. And another one that is one of my favorites, Hannah Holycross and I did together about reusable menstrual products around campus. So
yeah.
I remember that story because kind of like combining, because I was the environmental reporter at the time, so I was like combining the two. But I also really liked how much you could like play around with the beat. There was such a wide variety of stories you could do. And my favorite that I did was the one I did on sex appeal and advertising. That story turned out so much better than I thought. And like the deep diving I did for it, it just turned out really cool.
That was so good. Yeah, that was so good.
Yeah, no, it's kind of fun because we're all friends. You guys are all friends. Like, you guys have all, like, worked together and stuff. I just feel like there's such, like, a cool little legacy on this fun love and sex beat. So.
Yeah, because we worked on a story together about, like, sex ed education.
Yes.
Yeah, and I loved that story.
Yeah, that was so great.
Yeah, that was a good story.
Guys, we have such good chemistry in this newsroom. I'm telling you,
I like
it's
the energy
so fun.
we've created tonight.
No, literally. But I want to bring a conversation that we were having off camera to camera, really quick before we start, because I just felt like we had a lot to say about like what we like and don't like on dating apps. And so I want to let the viewers know Houselights is not just entertainment today. We're going full love and sex just because I love it so much. Not to step on the toes of going deeper, which you should also listen to. But yeah, I'm dipping my toes in, if you would. So we were saying that we don't like people who link their Instagram on their dating apps. Hannah, why don't you go and say a little bit of why?
Well, I don't like it because it feels like you're just trying to become an influencer.
Yeah.
Or you are already an influencer, and I don't have any interest in that.
No.
It's like, do you really want to date me, or do you just want the follow?
you gonna bring the follow? She's a celebrity. Oh, they just want me for my fame.
They just want me for, yeah.
I'm just a number, like.
I'm just an engagement rate, like.
Yeah.
But I also was gonna say, like, I hate when people, like, put their, like, height, if that matters.
Oh,
like,
my
in their
gosh.
dating profile, I was like, that's
It's
so
like 6
annoying.
foot, because that matters, I guess.
That matters, I guess.
Like, at that point, I'd rather just date a short king.
No, literally.
Literally.
But yeah, so I don't know if we want to add anything else that we hate on dating apps.
I will say, too, every single man, whenever the question is what I order for the table, it's always tequila shots. They either always, there's a couple different answers. It's always, like, tequila shots.
Is this, like, on Hinge?
I think so.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
Because they have the little prompts.
Yes. Or it's, like, sushi, or it's like, what's your favorite thing, or like, what are we gonna do on our first date? It's like, go out to get sushi. It's like, I've seen that so many times that it's not original anymore.
No, literally. I mean, sushi's, like, good.
Sushi's great, but like, it does just feel like you mass produced that answer.
No, literally. And they make all these, like, Tinder guys in a lab.
They do.
I just love playing the little swipey game.
No,
you
it
know?
does feel like a game, which is like wrong because these are real people, but
Yeah, but like, I can't
it's
imagine
so-
those people that are, like, really, like, intentionally, like, I'm gonna find my true love today, and, like, opening up, like, Tinder or anything.
The funny part, though, is I know so many people who have, like, who are in a relationship currently, and they, like, met on a dating app.
I met my long-term boyfriend on a dating app.
Yeah. Like, it actually works for some people.
Yeah, no, we dated for, like, a year, so I would call that a success. I mean, we
Yeah.
broke up, but, like, that's
Yeah.
still, like, a success, right? I don't know.
That is,
Like,
yeah.
on a dating app.
Kind of interesting. Like, separate from that, but I have known people who are in relationships, and I've seen them on Tinder. But get this, I've talked to them
What?
about it. I've confronted them about it. Which
Okay,
might-
PJ's stirring the pot.
Yeah.
He wants the mess.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, might not be great, but they're all. I mean, the people that I've talked to, they're in open relationships, which is
Really?
so interesting.
Didn't one of you write a story on open relationships?
You did, right?
Yeah, I think I was gonna say
Yeah.
me or you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so. I mean, open relationships are, like, I feel like probably just, like, easier for college, but, like, I could never. I don't
Oh, yeah.
think.
It's so interesting too. Like if people start dating, like, just say over winter break or something, or like during the summer, then it's like goes into like, are we a zip code couple? And that's so.
Oh my gosh. A lot of my friends use the term zip code, and sometimes I, like, get confused what it means, and I'll use it in, like, the wrong context. They'll be like, that doesn't make any sense.
Wait, what is
Well,
that?
so what does it
Explain it to
mean?
me.
So so my hometown, the zip code is 94904. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
And-
don't explain.
right.
And my address is this, and
My
my
social security
And my
number.
And this one is obviously 48823. So if two people were dating or whatever, they would and just say I met someone at home, right? And then we're still dating, but we're both going back to college. I can be in a relationship with someone else, well, as long as I'm in Michigan. But then if you were to both go back home, then you both have to still date each other.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that is, like, a form of, like, open relationship, or do you think that's just, like, I don't know, like, I feel like, not saying, like, that's cheating, I just feel like it's, like, a breakup then.
Then it's
Because you guys, like,
it's a
see each
breakup.
other,
Yeah, that's
It's a breakup, and then it's just like a random like hookup /
yeah.
It's like
together,
a dating of convenience
Yeah.
sort of thing. You guys are just, which is, like, valid. Like, I'll date for convenience. Like,
Yeah.
why would I date for hardship? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not
Sure,
looking for
yeah.
something harder than it has to be. Like, I kind of get it.
That is. Yeah.
But, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
Learn something new
Learn
every
something
day.
new every day, and I love
Yeah.
Houselights because we learn something new every day. Do we want to get into our favorite rom-coms?
Yes, please.
Okay, amazing. Should we? I'm just gonna say, like, a quick list of mine. First of all, I just, like, love, like, the 90s ones, like, or like 80s, 90s. Like, When Harry Met Sally is one of my favorites of all time.
I watch it every fall.
Yeah, it is such a fall
It's a fall movie.
And, like, because it's Meg Ryan, right?
love Meg Ryan.
Meg
I love
Ryan
her
is
so
a journalist in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have to watch it.
And then Billy Crystal is just so cute in his like little
He has
sweaters.
the best fits.
He has
in
the
that
best
movie.
fits.
Like if you are a man and you don't know how to dress, watch When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
Any fit he wears.
It's like a
Is
cable knit
acceptable.
sweater.
There's like one where he's literally just wearing like jeans and a white t-shirt and like a jacket. But it
looks
like
great.
looks so good.
But maybe that's just like the Billy Crystal.
Maybe that is just because
he just has so much charm.
he's got like he's got charm.
Yeah, that's a great one. And then Notting Hill with
yeah.
Roberts.
Never seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
You were nodding.
Guys.
Can you not nod at me and then go, never seen it?
Yeah, that's might be my.
Me and PJ are flunking this category.
Yeah, we-
No, it's okay.
Neither of us have seen When Harry Met Sally.
Okay.
Either. So
That's
yeah.
crazy. You
Crazy.
need to watch it. Like,
Should
it's
we
so
leave?
good.
Like,
Yeah, we're gonna take a break.
No,
Might
yeah.
as well get the job of Love and Sex Reporter if you haven't seen
Yeah.
When Harry Met Sally.
I know.
That's like
Yeah.
the Bible.
Oh,
I know.
So good.
I know.
But yeah, like Notting Hill with Hugh Grant and Julia Roberts, and they like meet cute in his bookstore that he owns.
His travel book
His travel bookstore.
How does the bookstore travel?
Yeah.
No,
they're-
like
They're travel books, like books
Oh,
like visit Peru. It's like
Sorry, it's just not working.
Hannah, I was on the same page as you.
I can't get I get where you got there.
I was like a van.
It's like on wheels.
Pop-up shops.
And then La La Land.
I love La La Land.
I love a good musical. And there's not
there's one thing listen
if
I
there's
like,
one-
it's a musical.
It's a musical. And La La Land is just like so classy about it.
It's
You know,
so
because
bad.
there's like a musical, and then there's like La La Land.
Yeah.
And I like both, honestly. But like La La Land just has that.
It's
And
like a casual
there's
musical.
something about Ryan Gosling playing a guy who's not ending up with the girl he wants to be with.
I know.
true.
In tap shoes.
In tap shoes.
He's
This
also
time
wearing
in tap shoes.
In tap shoes. Oh,
Well, and like
yeah.
Emma Stone's so real for that. Like she wouldn't be with Ryan Gosling forever.
Yeah.
so real.
She was like, I love her.
Yeah.
You know, I love a good tap dance scene. I love a good montage. It has jazz.
It's got
Who
jazz.
doesn't love jazz?
Ryan Gosling saves jazz.
He literally saves
He
jazz
saves-
for all of LA.
Yeah.
I love him. And
John
then my-
Legend. Yeah.
John. Yeah. Oh my
I
gosh,
keep
I forgot John
forgetting that
Legend.
John-
is in it.
John Legend tries to destroy jazz. It's like
Oh
so
yeah. But the
Hates jazz.
last one isn't even a rom com, and I literally don't care. But it's Pride and Prejudice. That
yes.
is like Valentine's Day watch.
Yes.
Number freaking one with
that.
Mr. Darcy.
That
Darcy.
reminds me of how Clueless is based off of Emma,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I also really like
No,
Emma.
because where are the Jane Austen modernized adaptations?
No. literally.
Because I feel like it's been a minute since we've gotten one of those.
It is.
No,
we just got
literally.
a Shakespeare one.
Emma
but
with-
Just get a Shakespeare one.
Anya Taylor-Joy is really good, but it's not like a modernization. It's like a period.
No, but
piece.
it's so good.
And Mia Goth is in it too,
Yeah.
with her no eyebrows. Oh, I love her and her no
I love her.
eyebrows.
You know, I haven't seen any of these movies.
PJ.
Okay, then what's like a rom com you want?
Yes.
You know, we were talking about it off camera.
Okay, off camera.
2 movies that involve numbers. 10 Things I Hate About You and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
I've never seen How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Wow.
That-
Which is crazy,
You're
right?
missing out. You're missing
But 10
out.
Things
Yeah.
I Hate About You is a classic.
Classic, yeah.
Oh, you would love How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah, you would.
Another female protagonist as a journalist.
Yeah.
Really? Oh my god, I love that.
Which I'm starting to realize.
Honestly, kind of a love and sex journalist. At
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Wait, she is. Yeah.
That's why I love Carrie Bradshaw. She's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
the
man.
love and I guess she's more of a blogger. She's more of a
I-
columnist.
No, how many times when you
But-
guys got Love and Sex, be it probably more Hannah than PJ, did somebody compare you to Carrie God?
That's immediately what my parents said. Like,
Yeah.
Aww.
But I wanted to say, because I saw a TikTok, have you guys seen Sex and the City?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Carrie Bradshaw? Because there's a big hate train for her, but then I saw a TikTok where someone was like, you guys beg for complex female characters,
For real.
but you hate, like,
But you can't handle her.
yeah,
You can't handle her.
Oh, that's so. I've only seen a couple of episodes, so I don't think I can like make a full statement. But she seems to self-sabotage.
She does.
Which,
And we have that in common. Like, they, like that's,
Yeah,
like, that's why I
she's
love
so
her.
real for that.
yeah.
No, I think Carrie Bradshaw's a really great just like character that like she just like does her thing. Like I don't think I don't understand why people would think that she's like problematic or they hate her just because like she just writes. She cheats on people. But she falls in love.
Yeah,
so it's like she has the best intentions and the worst laid plans.
Yeah.
And God forbid a woman.
God forbid a woman.
Yeah. I've seen one scene of Sex and the City, and it wasn't. It didn't even have to do with any of the characters, the main characters. It was, I think it was Carrie Bradshaw's friend, and they went to like this penthouse for a drink or whatever, or for a party, and that's where the whole video where it's like, why doesn't anyone have? Oh my god. Why doesn't anyone have fun anymore? What happened to people having fun? And then she falls off the building. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that clip.
Oh, I see that clip as like a reaction on Twitter all the time.
I love Twitter reactions.
That would do numbers on Twitter.
Oh, it does. And I like all
She
of
would
them.
know Miss Trending Analytics.
Yeah.
She's like, it does numbers, babe.
It does numbers.
Yeah.
Going on. Okay, so I love You've Got Mail. Another.
I've never seen it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, if you like When Harry Met Sally, you're gonna love You've Got Mail. Another Meg Ryan, Nora Ephron film.
Okay.
So good. And then I love, it's more recent, and I feel like we haven't really talked about any recent ones because we're in a little bit of a dry spell for rom-coms.
It's true.
But Set It Up.
I did see that.
The 2018 Netflix rom-com Set It Up with Glenn Powell and Zoe Dutch, and it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
The premise is basically that they're both assistants to these very workaholic bosses, and they both are like wanting more free time, but they can't have more free time if their bosses are still working because they have to be there in the office whenever their bosses are. So they try to set their bosses up with each other so that they will want to go on dates with each other, and then the assistants get more time off. But then, of course, in the process, the two interns, they fall in love.
I love.
And they just have such good chemistry. And a rom-com has to have a good soundtrack. That's like essential.
Absolutely.
And this one has an amazing soundtrack. It's so good. If you're looking for like a good, more recent rom-com, it's one of my favorites of all time.
That sounds so good.
I have a good recent one as well too. It's now don't shake your heads right away. It's Trainwreck with Amy Schumer
I have seen
and
it.
Bill Hader, and I actually love it. Like she's not really like I think she's honestly funny in this. I've never seen any other ones where she's very funny, but I think it's because her and Bill Hader have like really good chemistry in it, and I just love Bill Hader.
He's great.
I love Bill
So
Hader.
LeBron James is in that.
LeBron James is in it. John Cena is in it as like her first like love. It's so strange, but like it's really funny. And then Brie Larson, who's like an Academy winning like.
Oh, she's in.
She like plays her sister. It's such like a mixed bag.
Oh yeah.
Of people in the movie. But yeah, he's like a sports doctor, and also she's a journalist.
Yeah, that's
she's a love and sex journalist.
Yeah,
I love when they're journalists.
Rom-coms love to make the female protagonist a journalist.
And I love it too because I feel like YN, like in a fan fiction.
Yeah,
like I'm just like being like put into the.
Yeah, I'm like that's
movie.
literally me.
Like that's it's us. Any other rom-coms from you guys?
Well, during Christmas time, I watched the first time The Holiday.
I love that movie.
And I loved it. A little cottage on the English countryside.
Jack Black, what an unassuming...
He surprised me.
He surprised me. And of course Jude Law. Jude Law.
I really wish he didn't sleep with his nanny. Because it's all I can think about.
Oh, wait, he did that IRL?
IRL, yeah.
Oh my god, what?
Cheated on his wife with the nanny.
Wait.
No, that's such a cliche.
It's so cliche.
Wait, Jack Black did that in real life?
No!
Oh my god.
Jude Law.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that in
That's
real
kind
life.
of...
If it was Jack Black, I'd literally be on the floor.
That's kind of why he fell off a little bit.
Oh, like his scandal?
Yeah, it was scandalous.
Well, like Adam Levine hasn't been doing well ever since he like cheated on his wife with like Instagram models.
What goes around comes around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't put up with that anymore.
We don't. Mm-mm.
I also wanted to talk about the idea of like movies that are based around like sex as a plot, and like if like they can actually be good. And honestly, I have a crazy hot take. 50 Shades of Grey is not that bad. It's just like a good fan fiction.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
I have seen it.
Okay. Let's chat.
Yeah, I have a friend. She's I don't want to say she's like a stan, but she liked the movie, and we kind of watched it as like a joke.
Right.
And you know what?
Well, that's how it always goes.
It had a plot.
It had a plot.
Yeah.
What is the plot?
Okay, so he's like this like millionaire like guy, and she goes in. No. She's not a journalist. She has to stand in for her friend who's a journalist. So she goes into the interview.
What is with journalists and?
He goes
It's a
in
sexy
with,
job, I guess.
It's a
sexy
really
job.
sexy job, but
Yeah.
like she goes in with no idea knowing who he is because her friend is the journalist she was sick, so she had to go do the interview for her, which would literally never happen.
That would never happen.
You would just schedule a Zoom, babe. Anyway.
Yeah.
But so,
Was this pre-zoomed though?
It was.
Say, but you can still do phone calls.
Well, you guys know how this like got written, right? It's an
Yes.
Edward fan fiction.
It was on a.
So what?
It was written
Edward
on
from Twilight.
Wasn't it written on a BlackBerry?
What? I didn't know that.
I remember seeing
The
somewhere
whole thing?
that the whole novel
We can tell.
was written on a BlackBerry.
You're
I
kidding.
hope she upgraded to a laptop for the second one.
I hope
But
so too.
yeah, I can't even imagine my eyes.
See,
like-
and then the second and third ones go downhill so much.
so
like
maybe
the-
there was something with the BlackBerry.
Maybe. Like, maybe she just, well, because if you're thinking about, I always do this with, like, my stupid notes app poetry, where it's, like, it always comes out right when I'm just, like, typing
Yeah.
it away, like, super fast.
When
like,
inspiration
in a parking
strikes.
lot.
Low-key,
So-
I write almost all my leads in my notes app.
That's
Wow.
real.
Yeah.
That's where I write all my
So-
questions.
Yeah.
Like,
so
right before an interview.
There's
No, I
something
will-
there
yeah.
with the phone.
The best leads always just like come to me.
Yeah,
But, unfortunately, the longer I think about it, the worse it
the
gets.
worst, yeah. Slowly coming up, I'll be on like the bus. I'll be like, oh, this will be really good for the story. I'm gonna
Yeah.
like, yeah,
This is a little insider baseball for the fans.
yeah.
Of, like,
How we come up with
journalism.
Wait, have you guys heard of like the butterfly effect between I forget this what the initial thing was, but it led to 50 Shades of Grey, and it was
Yes!
like Dakota
Oh,
Johnson
babe.
like
Yeah.
calling out Ellen.
Yes, it was like 9/11, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
9/11.
literally have it
It started
memorized.
with 9/11.
Yeah, it started with that. Then you have it memorized.
I think I've
Okay,
stop me
you-
if I'm wrong, okay?
Okay.
Mine's more like fan fiction. Okay, so 9/11 happens. So then Gerard Way in My Chemical Romance
Yes.
is okay, good. In My Chemical Romance goes to a parade for 9/11. He then creates the band My Chemical Romance and writes the song Welcome to the Black Parade. This jump starts their their fandom or whatever. Then Stephanie Meyer, a humble Mormon girl, just is like super horny for Gerard Way. So then she writes Twilight as a fan fiction for Gerard Way. Okay, so now we have Twilight. It blows up. Then I don't remember the author of 50 Shades of Grey. Am I doing well so far?
Yeah.
Okay, so then 50 Shades of Grey is written as a Edward fan fiction. And Edward would literally do none of the things in 50 Shades of Grey, by the way. I'm a Twilight, like, stan. That's not a rom-com or anything, but it is, like, a very great, like, romantic movie.
Yeah.
Toxic, but, like, great. And so that is a fan fiction, made on Edward. Okay. I don't know how we get to Ellen, but I do know
Dakota Johnson.
Oh, right, Dakota Johnson, and then...
She gets big from that movie. She goes on Ellen. Ellen does invite Dakota Johnson to her party.
Or no, I thought it was the other way around.
No, she did, because she goes, actually, I did invite you.
No, I mean like Dakota invited
did
Ellen
invite Ellen to the party.
to Dakota's birthday.
Oh.
Yes.
It was Dakota's birthday.
Right,
I do know
right.
this part. It was Dakota's birthday. Ellen said, "How's your birthday? I wasn't invited." And then she goes, "No, actually, that's not the truth. You were invited."
Yeah, and then she's like,
man.
ask your producer.
She's like, "Ask everyone."
Literally on air.
I
like-
can't believe it's a fan fiction based off a fan fiction.
Yes.
That's
And then also,
crazy.
this is the part, because I don't usually go the Ellen route. I usually go after was, like, after... Sorry. Hold up. 50 Shades of Grey was the first fanfiction to actually get, like, a book deal. So then After was written on the popular site Wattpad, which is a Harry Styles fanfiction. And so 50 Shades of Grey opened the doors for After to become super popular, and then that became
Wow.
popular. And that was actually my next note, was about After.
Because
I read it when it was a fanfiction, babe.
All of this started with 9/11.
And all this started with 9/11.
Wow.
Not saying that, like, Never mind. I wasn't gonna say that like 9/11 was like a good thing, but it did definitely like create a.
Yeah, it's just crazy, like the chain of events that you would never have thought.
You know that the Love and Sex episode with me had to bring up fan fiction at some point.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Who do you think I am? But like, After is not good. I've watched every After movie.
I've only seen the first one. I've seen.
Don't watch more, because honestly, the first one is even better than the other ones, and that one's pretty bad.
I watched part of the second one. I got up to the point where... Am I allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yeah.
He goes, it's like, what is it, Dylan Sprouse?
Yes!
And the guy goes, fucking Trevor!
I love that. I was actually have Zach Sprouse, like, in my... Zach Sprouse? Dylan Sprouse in my notes. I say... word for word, because I said Zach. Zach Sprouse is pretty great, though. It's just in my notes. Because he is. He's, like, honestly the best part of, like, a terrible series.
Yeah.
But, like, as you go along, there's just, like, sex every other scene, like, in the, like, later movies. Because, like, I feel like After is pretty tame, right? After, like, has some PG-13 stuff going on. But, like, swear to God, the rest of the After movies, it's, like, every other scene. It's just, like, a sex scene. It's, like, that's fine. Like, I'm not, like, a prude. But I'm also, like, I feel like...
You do
like,
want some plot.
I do want some sort of plot. Like, and every time they'd be, like, angry at each other or happy with each other, it'd be, like, a sex scene right afterwards.
I have a question. So, in these movies where sex is, like, a main plot line, are more times than not the couple, like, pretty toxic?
Yes.
That's, like, another thing, too, is, like, sometimes they have very toxic dynamics, and it's like, I don't know, I don't like when toxic behavior is excused.
Yeah.
And I get it, it's, like, a storyline, but...
So that's the thing I would argue against those movies being okay, because I do worry that it normalizes toxic relationships.
And even, like, the books that are, like, super, like, romantic and, like, the smutty, like, books, always based off, like, a super, like, toxic relationship. Yeah. Like, all, like, the Colleen Hoover books.
Yeah, we were just talking about how Colleen Hoover's brain rot.
Literally! I did cry over November 9th, though. Don't, like, tell anybody that, but I did, like, cry over November 9th.
Because I was hesitant to say that, because I don't like to shit on what other people enjoy. I'm very much like, you know what, if you enjoy those movies, if you enjoy those books, like, no shame.
Yeah.
It's
as long as you're reading. Like,
I mean, but, like, that's the thing. It's like people are like, oh, like, I'm such, like, a book girl, and it's like Colleen Hoover, and, like, her writing is terrible. Like, I'm just like, I don't
like busting them out. There's like 4.
Yeah, she's just like
she's on that BlackBerry.
Somebody get that woman a BlackBerry. Maybe the quality will improve. Yeah.
No, I feel like she has to have a ghostwriter at this point. With as many books as she's put out, like, it's crazy.
No, I think I saw like a TikTok one time of like the Hamilton song, like, why do you write? Like, you're running out of time, and it was just like Barnes and Noble and like an entire shelf, and it's all Colleen Hoover.
Yeah. But like, we also have to think about those little tiny romance books. You know, the ones that are like super tiny but like thick, and they have like a firefighter that's like shirtless on it. There are so many of those, and they're like all from like the same. Have you ever read one of them? No.
Oh, they're all from the same 3 people.
Like, that's a
how do they come up with new material? Like.
They don't.
They don't. I mean, yeah.
It's gotta be like ChatGPT at this point.
ChatGPT,
like, what should my next romance novel be about? And then,
sure.
Well,
I just don't know who they're selling it to.
I feel like Colleen Hoover.
Oh, my friend's dad, actually.
Really?
Yeah, my friend's dad's like obsessed with those books, but he refuses to buy them, so he'll rent them from the library. But
that's embarrassing.
But no, he'll ask his daughter to pick them up for him.
Toxic masculinity.
My favorite thing when I go to Barnes & Noble is to pop one open, and almost every time it's something really out of pocket, especially the ones that like are even worse than Colleen Hoover, that have like like kind of like Bridgerton knockoffs. Those are crazy.
Do you guys like Bridgerton?
The show?
Yeah, the show.
I did.
I liked it.
I think I'm kind of excited for the new season, even though I literally hate the girl that plays like the writer or like whatever. I literally like started it. Like, I liked her the first season. Oh, no, the The second season, I didn't like her.
See, but I love her because she's in Dairy Girls and she's so funny.
Oh,
in
see,
Dairy
I've never
Girls.
seen Dairy
Yeah.
Girls.
Oh my
Dairy
gosh.
Girls is so funny.
I'm
So
like,
good. She's hilarious.
I haven't watched Bridgerton in a while, but I'm trying to remember. She was kind of shady in the second season, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
now she's like gonna have her season like with the Bridgerton brother that she's like
That
best
might
friends
be
with.
her redemption.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
maybe
can
that's
see
it. I
that.
don't like her character, but I love the actress who plays her, and so I like look at her through a more like rose-colored.
That's valid.
lenses.
Yeah.
I loved the last season of Bridgerton.
Queen
with
Charlotte.
Anne
I
and,
like that.
Oh, I actually didn't see the Queen Charlotte one. Was it good?
I think that's the best one. I think it's better.
Really?
I need to watch that.
Okay,
Then.
maybe
I
I'll
need
watch
something
it.
new to watch. So.
Legitimately,
Like a good romance
I
story,
think it
too.
was an amazing romance story. It was like heartbreaking because it's
Oh.
about the queen and the king, and I don't know if you're like familiar
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
he's got like some like health issues, and so it's their story, and then you kind of see his like health deteriorate throughout their relationship, and it's so heartbreaking. But oh my gosh, like they find. Like, the last episode, I was, like, bawling my eyes out. Because it was just so beautiful. And, like...
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to watch it now.
Dang.
Because, like, I just was like, oh, it's not in, like, the regular Bridgerton, like, family. Like, I'm just not gonna watch
No,
it.
it was so good.
So, like, maybe
the
I will
writing,
now.
just the writing itself was better for that season.
Well, like, I just need something to, like, fill the romance hole in my life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, so I'll, like, pop open
I
a
will-
book,
yeah.
or, like, I start a show.
Colleen
Yeah.
Hoover book.
Like, I'll read a
Yeah.
book, maybe. No, and here's the thing I was gonna say, before we ended the talk about books, Emily Henry writes actually pretty good
I love Emily.
romance books.
Wait, I'm gonna have to
Book
try that
lovers.
out.
I love book lovers.
I loved Book Lovers. I loved Beach Read. I loved People We Meet on Vacation. I will say the Emily Henry books, around, like, 3/4 of the way through, it does start to get a little bit slow
It's true.
because in her books, the romance is never, like, the main plot line. It's always, like, an element of it, and a really important element, but, like, she always has a much more, like, serious...
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like Colleen Hoover where the main focus is like smut
Yeah.
or anything. It's
Right.
like it's like a cute storyline,
Yeah,
but there's
yeah.
romance attached to
And
it.
sometimes they're kind of serious. Have
Yeah.
you ever Beach Read?
I haven't read Beach Read. I read Book Lovers and People We Meet on Vacation.
I read Beach Read and Book Lovers at the same time, and so
How do you do that?
it was like I was working an internship that like wasn't giving me any work, and
Okay,
so
great.
it was this summer, and so I just like read when I didn't
Yeah.
have any work to do, and then the other one I like had on my phone, and my commute to work was really crazy, and I would like use the train, and so I just like would read it on my phone. But one
That's
time I
fun.
was reading, I think it was Beach Read. Yeah, it was Beach Read. I was on the train in Korea reading that book, crying.
Oh my gosh.
And I looked like just the stereotypical like white girl American who's like overly emotional on the
Oh my
train.
God.
And in reality, were people staring at me? Probably not. But in my head, I was like, I'm making such a scene on this train by crying.
I
because
love
it's-
making a public scene.
but I was also like it was like cinematic for me a little bit because I was like so far from home, and I was like reading this book, and also I think that one's set in Michigan too. It's in like
Oh.
it is
Love.
and that was like
Okay, that's what I'm reading on spring break.
yes, you should. And it was like halfway through my study abroad too, and so I think the fact that it was like the very sentimental moment was like something related to her family, which I missed my family, and it was set in basically like the equivalent of Traverse City, which is a very special place to me.
I have a place in Traverse City.
Yeah.
So I know that book.
Yes, and so it hit all the right. If you don't cry, I'll be surprised.
I'm
Although,
a
do you not cry?
I'm like I'm very like I don't like people seeing me cry, but I've been more of a crier recently.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know if it's like me getting older. I'm just like I'm
Like you
more.
don't have shame about it?
Yeah, I don't. I think I just have less shame about it.
Okay.
So.
I'm a big crier. Like, and I always tell myself to make myself feel better. Like, it finishes the stress cycle.
It does.
You know, like,
Honestly,
that's
I
the
feel
end.
like I've felt more emotionally healthy now that I've been more of a crier.
That's so
So-
great.
Makes
Oh my
sense.
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, healing.
I'm liking
Okay,
this for me. Yeah.
I am not a crier. And it's like really weird. I don't think this is healthy at all. But like if I do cry, I cry for like 20 seconds, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done.
All right, I'm done.
Genuinely.
I'm very much
over
like
it.
Is it
a
the maleness?
using
Maybe.
humor. I
don't
use
know.
humor to cope, and sometimes it's very inappropriate. And so, like, if I start crying, I'll immediately try to make it, like, funny,
Yeah.
which sometimes
Yeah.
isn't the best in certain situations, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like crying though. I mean, I
There's
don't
something
like being
about it.
sad, but I like being able to cry.
I think this is probably a big reason why I only like to cry in public, or not in public, in private, is because when it rains, it pours. Like, it comes out,
Yeah.
and I can't speak, so, like, it's hard because, like, if I'm trying to, like, talk to someone and I'm crying, or if somebody asks if you're okay.
Oh my god, I hate that so much.
I could be perfectly fine, and someone could be like, "Are you okay?" And I'd start crying.
No, and
Yeah.
it's so sweet if someone asks if you're
Yeah.
okay, like when you're upset,
Yeah.
but you're like, I'm gonna start crying even more. I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
fine.
It's like you're about to say, yeah, fine, and then right as the word fine comes
Yeah.
out, everything else comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just, yeah.
This is kind of a funny little Valentine's Day story. I bought
Yes.
myself roses from Whole Foods.
Aww.
And it started out sweet, but I didn't look at the price. They were $30.
Well, girl, you were at Whole Foods. That's your first
Yeah.
mistake.
But I've gotten flowers there before and they weren't that expensive.
That's actually true. So have I.
I think it was probably just because there was a bunch. Like
Yeah.
a bunch of
Okay.
roses, which is important later. I go home and I go to put them in my vase and I'm like trimming them so they fit in the vase and I'm like putting them in the vase as I'm trimming them. The vase tips over. It's full of water, spills all over my, like I have like all my cords like tangled up with my like power strip, got all over my power strip. The roses were also so messy, so my floor was covered in like petals and leaves, and then I just started breaking down. I was like, this is ridiculous. Because like also like when I came to the door, people were like, oh, like who got you those? I was like, me. So
You have to take care of yourself.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
you know, there may be tears, you know, as it goes along. But I bought myself candy, so that was nice.
That's good.
So they were just
Hey.
like a little heart
Yeah.
candy.
Yeah.
My parents got me flowers. They like had them sent to my house, which
Aw.
is very sweet. I love my parents. Love you guys. But it is so funny though because my house is like split in half. Half of my roommates, well, so there's 4 of us total. Two of the roommates are in very committed relationships. The other 2 are not. And so it's so funny because we have like I think 4 different bouquets in our living room right now. And it is hilarious because I know 3 out of those bouquets because like one of my roommates, their boyfriend bought them like flowers in the morning and flowers in the evening.
Oh,
Wow.
what?
I know, but it's so funny because it's like, oh, we've got so many flowers from the boyfriends, and it's like, I got my flowers from my parents, which like,
My mom sent me a box. For
So
the
cute.
Valentine's with some candy in it.
She
and,
also
like, a
loves the
Starbucks
rents.
gift card.
Yeah, my mom did get me a week before a little gift bag.
Aw.
With, like little champagne and candy.
Aw.
so-
Maybe champagne. Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
just,
sweet.
like the little bottles.
Aw.
I'll take it.
That's so fun.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna send this podcast episode to my parents so they know next year to get me
Like,
this
yeah,
stuff.
it's like a normal thing for you guys to
yeah,
do.
that's always
like-
the kids for Valentine's Day.
I want to, before we end the podcast, do a little bit of dating horror stories.
Yes,
Because
I'm
Hannah brought
so-
up, literally Hannah in the group chat, Miss Hannah really said, let's do it. And I came up with some
Let's
that I
hear it.
have.
Please
I'm
share.
so
Do you want to? Okay. All right. So I want to note. So it's like little vignettes. It's very small, small ones. So, and I'd like to say they were all different people to know, and they were all from like first dates. So these are like, for once, I'd like to have like a normal first date that like doesn't end in me either like continuously dating them or like it going absolutely horribly. But here we go. So. First time I went to this like Portillo's. Do you know what, like Portillo's is? Like super like it's just like a very casual place. In a skirt. Once, and he didn't even hug me after the date. And then he texted me later. He was like 3 years older than me. He went to like Notre Dame, so this is my like hometown. And he was like, he told me that I reminded him of one of his students that he tutored in math, so he couldn't continue to date me, which is really, really weird.
Oh my
That's
god.
very-
And it's like,
weird.
it's strange. Like, I understand, like,
Yeah.
3 years is, like, not that, like, it's, like,
Yeah.
not enough for you to be, like, you remind me of one of my students. Ugh.
Yeah.
That's
so
really
weird.
No.
Yeah.
And I, like, didn't like him, so it wasn't, like, it was, like,
Yeah.
because we literally barely talked to. I mean, I'm always the one doing the conversation.
Yes.
Like, I am the girl that, like, just yaps it up.
I like to fill the silence.
I hate
cannot,
silence.
I
I
can't,
can't
deal with
deal.
silence, but so I was like filling the silence. So at least, yeah, whatever. One time a date was so bad that I had to take a reflective walk in the rain afterwards. Like I literally had to go and just like be with myself. in the rain. But it was not like there was nothing like specifically bad about it. It was just like it was just off, you know. And I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what was that?
Like,
No, it
what
makes you
was
like
that?
consider dating even as a concept.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I have to go like touch grass right now. Like, that was so bad. This one is just like super.
Date's so bad you can one with nature.
No, literally. I'm like, what if I just like ran off? But there was one that was just kind of, this is cringe for me. This is nothing that he did wrong. One time on a date, this guy told me that he was a White Sox fan, and I asked if that was basketball or baseball.
Oh, because you're not like other girls.
Because I'm not like, I'm just not like other girls. I'm so YN coded. No, but like I seriously, I actually didn't know, and I was like flustered.
Was he like mad about it?
He was like, obvious. Like, he was like, it's like baseball.
It is baseball.
Okay, he was like, obviously it's baseball, and I was like, oh, like yeah, like I knew that. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just testing you.
I was just like testing you. Like I know a lot about sports actually, and I told my friend that like I said that, and she was like, I literally post White Sox stuff like on my story all the time. Like,
No.
what are you talking about? Like you should have known that. Like you, like she was like angry
Is she from
for
Chicago?
me. No, she's like from. So I'm from like South Bend, which is like an hour-ish from Chicago.
Okay.
So it's like kind of.
Okay.
Like people like say, like,
You
oh,
could be a White Sox fan. If
you can
were.
be, yeah, exactly. And like
Okay.
we have a like our little league team, like our like minor league team is called the South Bend Cubs. Because it's like sort of like a part of like the Chicago Cubs. So it's like it's all very meshed together.
It connects, yeah.
And then this is a doozy, so this is the end one. So first of all, it was a JMC boy, obviously.
Obviously.
So I thought we had a good time. First of all, it was freshman year, so like whatever, but like it was in a dining hall. But like whatever, like a dining hall.
Dining hall? Case?
Case, of
Oh
course,
my
because it was
God,
a
of
JMC boy,
course.
of course.
Why would he take you to Case?
It was also pouring down rain, and he met me at my class, so we were just trying to get as close as possible to like his like play or whatever. And also this is not part of the story that I've written down to say, but his roommate was so like weird, like because he like brought me back to the dorm, so he was like, maybe like my roommate won't be here and we can just chill out here like before like I take you home. And then we got there and his roommate was there, he's like, I'm so sorry, because he had like, it was like the start of freshman year, so like he had not like, he'd only known him for like a couple weeks at this point. And this kid had like one of the like Sports Illustrated like bikini like model like posters up in his room, and then he was telling us that like he had like 5 dating apps, and like was asking, because he found out that we had like met on like a dating app, he like asked us for like advice while we were in the whatever, but we like had a good time making fun of him afterwards, so like that wasn't the cringy part. So like whatever, he walks me home, we kiss at the end, and then he texted me a day later saying that he cried for 4 hours after because he wasn't over his ex. Why would you text me that? Why would you text me that?
You don't need to know
you
that.
You can just say that you like didn't have a good time. Like I'd rather you say that for yourself. Protect yourself, Dave.
I know.
Yeah, that's wild.
Why would you text me that you cried for 4 hours? That is such an
These JMC men are so
These JMC men are
dramatic.
Crazy.
Oh my
Social
god.
relations.
SRP, baby.
SRP, baby.
Oh, so that's why I'm IR.
She's not IR. Are the IR boys different?
They're all the same.
Oh, okay, great.
Just in case you were wondering.
I was wondering.
Not that I've ever dated a JMC.
So
man.
actually, the guy that said that he was a White Sox fan, he was an IR boy. So that was another dating case.
That was enough.
Whatever.
You need to stop dating JMC men.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
On my way. You know what?
Yeah.
Reformed.
They're just the loudest ones.
Reformed.
They're the loudest ones.
So yeah, that's why. Do you have any? Hannah?
Okay. I have 2. Okay, no, 3. Okay, so one of them was sophomore year. It was this guy that we like met at a party or whatever, and
I love a natural meet.
We met naturally, and the date was just like we got coffee and then walked around campus. But like as we were walking around campus, every time we saw one of the spin scooters, he would like knock it down and then run away. And then he would be like,
he's such a bad boy.
And then he goes on to tell me that he's the one that's been throwing the scooters in the river.
What?
That is so not environmentally like.
Yeah, I know. It was such
Breaking
a
news.
That is such a red flag.
Such a red flag.
Report this man.
Yeah, not good. And then
Students react.
He was knocking
Students
down
react.
all the
Students
I
react.
I'm just thinking about how like it would be to like walk next to somebody and then they're just like
They
they don't even say anything. They just knock down the scooter and then you just move
I don't
on.
even remember what he said. It was something along
That's
the
so
lines of like,
embarrassing.
gotta stick it to the man or whatever. He like
What?
hated the scooters so much, and he was like, you gotta like get rid of them because they're like a menace to the campus. I'm like, no man, you're the
You're
menace.
the menace.
Yeah.
Those like workers
The
that
call
like
is
come
coming
in
from inside the
spin-
house.
Literally, and, like those workers that come up like in the spin van like hate you.
They hate you.
They hate you so
I hate you
much.
so much. Nothing. It wasn't a bad date. It was just he was a really nice guy. We just like didn't have chemistry, and I worry it was because he's a Rubik's Cube champion,
Oh.
and there's nothing
Got it.
wrong. There's
nothing
nothing
wrong with
wrong
that.
with it. And at first I was like, oh, he has a hobby, and it's like a.
But it was like
Cube.
overtaking his life.
I like after the date I found out what his last name was, so I was able to stalk him on Instagram.
Yeah.
He has a Rubik's like an Instagram dedicated to his cubing
You know, he's very tactical. I mean,
He's growing his audience.
with like over 5,000 posts.
Oh,
Wow.
5,000 posts, that's like a lot. Oh my god.
That might be an over exaggeration, but it was a lot of posts. And I worry that gave me the again. I'm prefacing with there's nothing wrong with that. I just like there was something going on up here where I couldn't.
There's a little
after
bit of
that.
something wrong with that.
yeah, because
And-
you don't want to like bring him home to your parents and be like, he's a Rubik's Cube.
He's
like,
the Rubik's Cube
master.
Right.
He's a cuber. That's I learned, but that's what they
No,
refer
you
to.
call him a
Cuber?
He's a
You're
cuber. If you do Rubik's Cube, you refer to as a cuber, and it's cubing.
I can understand you don't want to be Mrs. Cuber.
I don't. Yeah. and then the worst one. Again, he was a
That
really,
wasn't the worst.
really nice guy, but like I think it was date number 4, so we'd gone on a
Oh, wow.
few dates before.
Okay.
Both Scooter guy and Cuber. I only went on one date with them, but this guy, he was really
Cuber.
nice. To this day, I still think he's a very nice guy. But on date number 4, we were like couldn't decide what movies to watch, and so he had us watch his like home videos. And when I say home videos, I mean his like middle school performance of Peter Pan.
For how long?
The whole thing.
No, the whole thing.
He would like fast forward to like just the parts that he was in.
Was he Peter Pan?
No.
He wasn't even Peter Pan. I'm sorry.
What
I'm
was
sorry. That was
he?
so
He was
loud.
like one
He
of
wasn't
the
even Peter
brothers.
Pan.
He was like one of the brothers. Like the.
That is so embarrassing.
Yeah, and I think he realized that wasn't the move because I asked him to like drive me home early.
Hannah, that is so hot of you. You didn't put up with that for one second. Oh my God. Can you take me home?
Literally.
Actually.
Yeah, again, he was a nice guy, and like there was nothing wrong
I'm
with.
proud of you.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I needed to get out of there, and like I think he realized that maybe for the next one, don't wait a bit before pulling
He
those
learned
out.
a lesson. He learned a valuable
Yeah,
lesson.
yeah, and like.
What a freak.
And like my thing is, it's like if we had been dating for like a year.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
other thing, why did you have
Since
those?
you're
They were
from Peter Pan.
DVDs. Why did you have those at your college apartment?
Wait,
Wait,
it was a DVD?
wait,
DVD.
you're right, freak. Why does he have?
Why does he have that?
Yeah.
Because, like, I have, like, my Shrek the Musical at home in my mom's, like, drawer, right?
Right.
With my
Right,
little
right.
tap dancing
But like
rat
when you're
moment.
packing for college, you're not like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring my
Put
Peter
these puppies
middle
in
That
school.
means he frequently watches it.
That's yeah.
Like how worn out was the disc?
No clue.
You should have checked
You
the
blocked
scratches,
it. You just
man.
blacked out during that moment.
I joke about how like in the moment I was like so like I couldn't even believe that was happening in the moment, and so
I can't either.
I was like it was one of those things where I knew how good a story it would be after the fact, but I still had to live the moment, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my god, I need to tell somebody about this, but I needed to tell somebody right then, so I like formed a second inner monologue within my head. Like
I always do that.
so I was like telling myself about it while it was happening.
You had to disassociate.
I developed like a split personality disorder.
It's situations like that. You have to
like have another person there with you, and sometimes the only other person
you have to not be there.
Is a second version of yourself.
And you're like, I can't believe this is happening to us. And she's like, yeah, I can't believe this is happening to us.
I'm not joking. That's exactly what was going on up there. And it was so funny because I didn't tell anybody that it had happened until like a week later because because I needed to like mentally.
How do you keep that in?
Because
you already talked to her about it.
I already talked to her about it, and like I needed to like process that had happened. And also,
you liked him, obviously.
I was a little bit embarrassed because I liked this guy, and like I was like, oh my god, like what does it say about me that I like went on 4 dates with this dude, and he like showed me the phone video.
You didn't know.
That's what everybody's like. This doesn't say anything about.
So
you,
how did you tell him then that like it's over, Peter?
Ghost.
Wow.
See, no, that's not.
Honestly, it wasn't a ghost because he like texted me after he had like dropped me back off and was like, hey, thanks for coming over, I had a great time, and I think I sent back like, me too, even though that was a lie.
Yeah.
And then he didn't say anything else about that, so I'm very serious when I say I think he learned from this.
He picked up the vibe. Did I really hope he's not listening?
He was so mortified.
Yeah.
He's gonna like, oh, they think I'm a freak, and he's gonna like send in a tip. He's gonna be like, my mom made me pack it. Like,
but like we added on that he learned from it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not all.
He's up. He's up.
We all
He's
ghosted
up.
someone before.
He's up.
I ghosted someone before. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. I just feel like that's like it's like a fun thing to do.
It happens.
Well, no, I ghosted them, and then I had to give them an explanation because they asked.
Oh, they're
I kind of
ghosted.
That's bold.
Yeah,
that is bold.
Yeah, I didn't
Who
get
does
away.
that man think he is? Like what?
I know, I didn't get away with it. I had to. Yeah, that's probably why I haven't ghosted anyone since.
Yeah, because it's kind of scary.
I've been ghosted and it sucks, so I try my best not to ghost. Unless I don't know, I feel like the times where I have like quote unquote ghosted, at least from my point of view, there was like a mutual understanding that like neither of us really wanted to keep the conversation going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if it just so happened that like he was the last one to send the text, there wasn't any sort of
There was this guy recently that like got so mad that I was like not wanting to like go on a date just because like I was like busy. Like I was he's like I can't believe that you would like he's like the one thing I don't put up with is ghosting. And like we had made like a very like liberal plan. You know what I'm saying? Like a very like plan that like we didn't really know. I hadn't like heard from like that much that week. Like I don't know. So I was just like, oh, like I was at work for like a while. Like I was just like, you know, doing stuff, and then I didn't text him because I assumed that he didn't text me that day. So I was like, and I was already at work, so I was gonna miss part of the day, or like we had not even set a time. We had just said like Thursday evening, and then but like it wasn't. We hadn't talked that much during the week, and so I was just like at work, and then I went home, and then I was like, hey, I'm so sorry, like I just got home from work. I didn't think that we were doing, and he was like, I cannot believe that you would do, and I'm like, we've only talked for like maybe 2 weeks.
He's entitled.
Very entitled.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now I'm like literally gonna ghost you forever now. Like you're literally never gonna get that date now.
Like the one thing I don't put up with. Well, here you go. You're gonna have to put up with it.
Yeah, like, you just
hate
did.
to bring it to you.
And you'll never have to again, cause bye.
Yeah.
You know, like bye.
Literally,
Bye.
yeah.
And also, you can't. Like, I don't know. People don't understand work. Pisses me off.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm like studying for a test.
What do you want me to do?
Alone.
I'm not gonna blow it off.
Right.
No, yeah. Anyways, sorry, that was a weird note to end on. Should I say my 3 most embarrassing celebrity crushes before we go?
Yes.
Matt Bennett specifically is Robbie Shapiro and Victorious.
Ooh, understandable.
Roborazzi.
PJ said, wow.
Okay.
Markiplier.
Understandable too.
Okay,
Yeah.
under 2. Okay, Robbie Shapiro fan. I see you.
I know. I watching Victorious as a kid, everyone was after Beck, but
No, for real.
Paparazzi, that
is a great
says a
episode.
lot about me, though, and I don't know if it's good.
Andre's so cool, too.
I was always an Andre girl.
That's so
I
cool.
thought-
He was
Andre's
so cool.
That
And-
he played every instrument, which I thought was the coolest thing.
No, literally.
Oh my God.
When he picked up that French horn.
When he picked up that French horn.
He was
I
never
loved that his
allowed.
locker was a piano when he played that.
He was
So
so
cool.
cool. And then Bo Burnham. That's all I have to say.
I love Bo Burnham.
I love Bo Burnham.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought that there was gonna be more like Liz. Like
Liz,
Liz chill
what are you
out.
doing?
But okay, cool. I feel better about it now. Any bad celebrity crushes before we end the episode?
I feel like back in the day, I had a lot of weird ones.
Go ahead.
When I was a kid, my dad would always watch Seinfeld.
I love
Okay.
I always
Seinfeld.
kind of had a thing for Jerry Seinfeld.
That's so weird.
I
That's
know.
so weird.
It was weird at the time.
He's like a 30-year-old man.
I was like 12. I'm like trying to think of like what other weird ones. Oh, one of my friends brought up the librarian from Megamind.
What?
I thought that was very out of pocket.
I don't even know one.
I know. Google him. I'm trying to think who else. JD from Heathers.
Oh, that's so valid.
Even though
though.
he's so toxic.
Oh my God! Wait, I see it.
Wait.
Babe, this is literally just like a West Wing character. Like I see.
It is.
Like he's so cute.
It's got the glasses.
No, I see. No,
like-
the glasses. Like it's like.
No, I do love a man with
This
glasses.
is literally my type.
I love a man with glasses.
Anyways,
Yeah.
that's crazy. But I love it though. I see you.
Yeah.
His name's Bernard, by the way.
What? Okay, that ruins it.
What?
That ruins it.
Yeah,
That
Bernard's a
ruins
bad
it.
name.
Yeah.
Ew. All right, well, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thanks
I'm
for
so
having
happy
us.
to have
Thank you
this
for having
panel. So beautiful, so amazing, and we'll see you next week. Bye.